An explosive new book out on the behind-the-scenes drama at The View. The author's going to be here on Friday. It includes on- and off-screen feuds between the co-hosts. Elisabeth Hasselbeck spent 10 years at the show and had some really fiery disputes with Rosie O'Donnell, who recently claimed that all along she had a little bit of a crush on Elisabeth, saying, quote, "There are not many in my life girls with such athletic talent on sports teams that are traditionally male that aren't at least a little bit gay." Now Elisabeth responds to that and describes what it was like when she actually did end up going back to the View table for the first time since she was fired. This is her untold story.
I'll be honest, when I first knew that this book was on my heart and it was something that I knew God was asking me to write about, I thought, okay, I'll write this book, but I'm not going to go to the View to talk about it. In fact, I'll make sure everybody knows that's the one place I won't go, because I think I still had a little bit of an open wound there, and was protective probably in ways of my own heart. And the process of writing this book and taking the time to be quiet, to sit in the Word, and to just go back with the lens of gratitude on the times that God afforded me there, 10 years is a long time. He actually changed my heart in the process of writing the book, where I couldn't wait to go there and share the words and the time and an experience with the women that I'd worked with before.
There's another book just put out called Ladies Who Punch, and in it, Rosie O'Donnell says that, despite the fact that you guys were always mixing it up, she said, I think I had a little bit of a crush on Elisabeth. And she said, in some small way, I think the feeling was mutual.
It doesn't feel great to have something brought against you that's not true. Her full statement in that book, which, number one, I think can undermine the value of women at a table having passionate debates on tough issues. I think there's a value to women at a table, and even in the title, I think it undermines the value of a woman's voice about these issues, because it's not easy to do that every day. But I do believe that suggesting that female athletes, because of their athletic gift, because of their grit, eye black, how tough they are, must be a little bit gay, that's just untrue. If you switch her name out to Reuben or Robert, it would be nothing short of objectifying women in the workplace.
Absolutely.
So I don't think she gets a pass with that. However, I'm looking at this and I'm trying to apply grace to the truth. And I think that's one of the most challenging things to do.
There's also a passage from that book that describes you getting really angry with Barbara Walters and swearing about it and saying, I don't even swear, and threatening to leave and walk off the View and not come back.
I take full responsibility for my language. I even said it. I think I was so frustrated. I was like, I don't swear, and I'm swearing, and expletives came. I'm not proud of that. I actually feel terrible that it shows my level of frustration, though. I'm sure there were more creative words that would have identified my feelings better. I was defending with everything in me the right to life. And the moment of conception is where I believe that happens. That hasn't changed. Now, where I was then in that conversation, if I were to have it right now, it would sound a little bit different. And I think it would sound like more questions. Tell me why you think it doesn't. I do think Barbara Walters, I was like her teenage daughter. I mean, I probably slammed a door and, I didn't want to, I'll quit. And then fire me and I'll cry years later. I love Barbara. For 10 years, Barbara Walters was the most incredible mentor to me. She's done more for women in broadcasting than any other woman. She did more for me personally than any other woman. When I needed surgery and a great doctor, Barbara made the call. When I was fired from The View, Barbara made the call to Fox for me. And it was an honor to be able to learn from her for 10 years. So I'm full of gratitude.
You also had an opportunity to have dinner with Queen Elizabeth II. How did that come about?
Those are dangerous dinners if you're not used to fancy things. And I remember the invitation came in and it was fancy. I asked Barbara Walters, I said, Barbara, what do I do about this? And she said, darling, you must go. And
Absolutely.
I feel like I'm in a Disney movie or something. So I went, Tim and I'm also pregnant at the time, and he goes, do I curtsy? Do I bow? what do I do approaching the Queen? It was making me uncomfortable. And so we finally get there, and I thought it'd be a big dinner. It was about 40 people. It was a state dinner with the Queen. Jeb Bush was to my side, and I was hungry, and I'm gluten-free. And I remember, just waiting for something gluten-free to come, and patiently waiting. And I had recalled seeing something of rose-infused treat on its way, and in front of me came this bowl, and I'm thinking, I am going to pass out if I don't eat something. And the bowl comes forward, is ornate and beautiful. And so I went to go drink it, and as I put the bowl to my lips, Governor Jeb Bush leans in and says, you might not want to drink that. That's for your hands. Before that, I was in a pretty good game of Mother May I.
Yeah.
She stands, you stand. She leans, you lean.
Right.
She picks up her fork, you pick up your fork. Those are game rules. But it was, again, an honor. It's just interesting to be in those positions, and there's such humanity in those moments and such grandeur. But it was such an honor to be invited. I think I just needed to study up a little bit more.
Elisabeth Hasselbeck, the book is called Point of View, a fresh look at work, faith, and freedom. It's great to have you back. And
Thanks
so
for
nice to
having
spend
me.
some time with you. Thanks, Elisabeth.
And cheering you on.
It was great to spend some time with Elisabeth again. The full interview will be released on Monday morning on the Untold Story podcast at foxnewspodcast.com. Check it out. More of the story coming up next.